Breathe slightly, trying to get your breath back. After regaining his energy, most likely towards the next incense accumulator, say thank you. Look at the person in front of you. I can't help but have a little thought in my heart. He used her before. Put her to death. It almost cost her her life. But she didn't care to give him blood to save him. But I don't feel a bit wrong. Your training is magic. But the magic is not from the trick. To achieve the goal is not wrong. Think of the 3 people who are still injured. They need to recover to get out of the mountain range. He quickly took out of him a vase. Give me a pause, Wang said. These are the 3 single heart products. Give me one to eat. You eat one yourself. Let's see if Kier is dead. If not, give him one. Wang receives knitting medicine from Tay. Most likely, not as ordered. Give him 1 tablet to eat, then go to the side. The sky is falling by the tree. Give him one. But she didn't eat and kept one in her hand. Most likely, she did not eat immediately and asked the fish. Your child is also injured. Why not eat? Miss Wang heard him ask and laughed. My wounds are not heavy. These 3 medicinal products are so precious. Keep it for the users. Most likely I heard her say, a little surprised. And then I laughed for a minute. Ha ha ha. Is there anything precious? Even if it is given by Qianlong himself, it must be eaten. Stop eating this, he owes you. You don't know. Your great father. I wanted to sacrifice you from the beginning. Take you as bait. The way he looks now is by himself. At this moment a cold howl suddenly echoed. Stop turning your head and look over. The current owner is also seriously injured. After eating the medicine, it was much better, but still can't move. Remember what the worst did before. Not from the cold. The worst part is talking about his plan. Stopping incense inside the lightning storm. Basically unconscious, inaudible. Now listen to the sky. Can't help but startle. Look at the most solid side. I hope she tells you it's not. But he sat there and didn't speak. Suddenly, there was a pain in her heart. Probably looking at her now. I have a little hesitation in my eyes to stop. Don't wait for him to finish. He was in a hurry to interrupt. Just give me a bitter smile. You don't have to say anything. I know Trach Dai Ca brave but full. Everything is calculated. This must be a misunderstanding. I'm going to check the wood and let the 2 of you be blessed. This place can't stay long. Said and immediately headed towards the forest, running away. I see her in a way that doesn't care. Thank God for not being disgruntled by her. Loud again. Stop him like that and let him go. Now his body is injured. I can't move. You can get revenge whatever you want. But stop thinking there's basically no answer. I don't know if you can hear me. Or basically don't want to hear. Thank God that you want to continue. But most likely the world shouts coldly, interrupting silence. If you want to die, the world is now perfect for you. You are more injured than I am afraid. The Lord of Heaven said no more for 2 hours. But there's a bit of fear in the words. because he hears the heart of his words. He is you. See the whole plan. Step by step, he leads the Demon 7 into his trap. He knows how scary it is. Although this battle they lost. Even if his way makes others angry. But he can really put a master in the sky. To the point of taking out the card of purging the guard. Finally, make others respect. 72 very quickly stopped the incense immediately back. There are many dry branches in the hands. Into 2 dances. Bring the 2 most confident people up. Most likely, I look at her hard. Many times I want to open my mouth. But she deliberately avoided his eyes. The words that didn't come to my mouth came back. Suddenly the sky began to darken for an hour. The rain poured water on thousands of animals. The snow stopped and the rain stopped. Use force to pull to people who are injured. Find shelter. Like she was injured before. He's lost blood, so he's very weak. Take a few steps and fall to the ground. She doesn't care either. The cow stood up and dragged the 2. This one way. 3 people don't say a word together. Silence all the way. She looked weak but still tried her best to pull it off. They immediately looked at each other. In my heart I don't know what. Thank heaven is very sad right now. He was there because he thought he was weak. I want to leave her to self-destruction. Probably the most cruel. Mouth says not to leave. He used to push her to death. It's good now. Both of them were seriously injured. I'm afraid I won't be able to move in a few months. You have to rely on her for help. Thank God I don't understand why. You can be so kind. Don't leave them. This debt they can't pay off their whole lives. A hole in the ground in front of you is dug. A mole that comes up. Run to the front of the stop sign Wang. Look at the fire in front of you. I stopped having a little fun. She used to let him run away. I can't believe I'm back now. And suddenly it's running in one direction. Stop looking at it. He knows he wants to guide her. Immediately pull Theo, the best of the world, and thank heaven. Just look for a moment. I saw a big painting in front of me. Stop immediately and pull to people inside. Let them rest against the wall. One day later, the world will finally wake up. Looking around doesn't seem right. His face turned and screamed, I can't stay here. Let's hurry. The snow stopped and I heard him scream. I don't know how to look at him. Most definitely staring inside the cave. Pointing to the weeds say, but look inside the whole thing. The sky also looks in the same direction. Just frowned strangely, asked. It can reduce the pain very well. There's something wrong with Sao. Probably the most. He rolled his eyes and said seriously. That's what this is for humans. As for a mascot that has a paralyzing effect, it's going to attract a lot of animals here. The sky is like thinking of something that all the sutras cry out. You said this was a trap. That's right, this is a dog trap. It's all the paint that it forced to bring us here. Most likely, he confirmed his guess. Thank heaven Yang slightly bit his lips. Look at the mole and yell at it. You are this traitor. In times of danger, You can fold your arms and run away. Do you want to die here? All pain try to listen to Heaven and Yang scold. They are constantly trembling with fear. When the incense stops, embrace it in comfort. Then the incense towards the most divine spoke. What should we do now? What can you do? Run. Thank Heaven, Yang quickly urged. If it's normal, he won't notice these animals. But in his current situation, without the ability to resist, probably the worst for a while. Ask how long we've been here. Hold your head up and look a little outside. Thick black cloud dynamic paint. Shaking his head is not clear. It must have been a day. Most likely, he shook his head and sighed. Face color stops freakish fucking. It sniffed that the effect of Danish medicine was over. I'm afraid the animals will come in. They will discover us. Currently, we can only stop them one by one. Thank Heaven and Yang startled with horror. Honestly, why do you say it every time? Nod your head. Most likely, he sighed and said that he was a great beast. They will not use this trick. Only low-level beasts set up this kind of trap. They're mostly pack-based. The title proves his words. Exterior dynamic paint, to the roaring sound of wolves. Each evil eye staring inside. Except 73 level to mascots. Hear the same sound. The three people in the cave were immediately terrified. They finally found it. Most likely, he looked out and sighed. The blood is gone. It's only a second-level animal. But they work in packs. The mausoleum is a third-level beast. Meet them. Even a fourth-level beast doesn't dare tease. Thank Heaven and Yang also follow the voice directed outward. His face showed a little sadness. Unexpected. Theme Chi Q2. Thank God we have to die here. God is really jealous of you. The fear is the same as fear. But most probably still calm. Turn to the sky. Thank Heaven, Yang. You hold the sword and give it to me. End the words of thanks to Heaven and Yang is doubtful or. I feel his words are like a joke. With the power of incense. Even with his sword. She won't be able to fight back the evil beasts. Outside Kier. She's not the most confident either. Can exceed the combat level. Vaguely feeling unwell. He looked at me the most and said stop. Even if my magic sword is a spiritual weapon. But I only have the power of gases. Let's fight back the animals. She's not you. Only use 6-weight scene gas capacitor. You can face the sky. Strong as a monster. Most likely calmly listen to him. A little glance. And the little fish kept holding that sword. No need to fight hard. You just need to break out. And he said, and took out a white vase from him. Let's stop talking. Stop, children. Keep this hidden pot for good. Wait until you've broken through. Then rely on it to leave. Don't go home. Just leave the city. Hear this word. Thank Heaven, Yang. It's like seeing the mind of the most evil. They owe too much of their love. Now it's been cornered. Of those three, she's the only one who can. Her power is so strong that she cannot be involved. Then his eyes moved a little. Definitely, give your sword wine to stop the incense. Look at the two of them. No matter how stupid the smell is. You know this situation too. Both of them wanted her out of the box. Leave them here to self-destruct. Think about here, the hand that held her sword from clenching. A path towards the dynamic door. Go out. I saw she went out. The best of all, and thank heaven. At the same time, look at each other. A pale smile. In my heart seems a little relieved. At this moment, the sky is muttering like that. We can repay this debt of gratitude. Even if you die, there's no problem. Most likely, the face calmly said. On the contrary, we don't care about giving back. Even if the present is dead, I'm still a little disgruntled. But I just don't want the head to do anything for me anymore. That's it. Unwittingly cruel. Thank God for an hour of cold. But I didn't argue with him either. The two of them arrange the way of life for a good concentration of incense. Stand still in place. Seems to be waiting for the evil wolves out there. Come on in. But while they're waiting for the wolves to come, I can hear every cry outside. Fresh blood paint tongue Tuesday. They both looked out in a hurry. I like to stop the mirror, the one they thought she'd safely left. Are entrenched in front of the cave, long sword in the hands of aggressive slashing. Attack on the wolves. I'm most likely to see this situation. Can't help but startle. Stop, what are you doing? To mobilize the school sword /2. Take the head of a wolf. Turn your head to the most popular chat. The two people laughed and said, You are watching. Just stay in this place. They can't go inside. You idiot, these things are just sacrifices. The Mausoleum King will not pay attention to their life and death. You will be dragged to death by them. Most likely, her smile was a little blurry. Angry scolding loudly. However, he did not pay attention to his words. He shook his head and said the king was a wild animal, so it doesn't pay attention to the lives of its followers. I have been since I was born. You two are the most important friends. So I'm not leaving you behind. End her words again to mobilize the force. Swords in the hand. Aggressive attack towards the wolves. A sword /draw. The blood of the wolves echoed everywhere. But basically with her power. Not to mention she was injured before. Then she won't be able to resist for long. But she didn't notice either. The little girl's small body. Keep a guard in front of the door. Confront the wolves. Never backed down. This is her small back. It was so deep in the eyes of the most powerful. Take a deep breath. The eyes began to get wet. I am extremely angry in my heart. I don't know if he's angry at me. Take advantage of the honest lady. Or angry that the Kier did not obey. He's dying in this place. It doesn't matter, no matter what. From this other hour, watch as condensed perfume has solved the tiny germ in Tim Y. Suddenly the Sky Young gently bit his lips aggressively said. Now that I've found out, the two of us. His mother is the bastard. 70 for mysterious people. Ignore the inside. Thank God, and the best are talking. The smell stops outside. Are still dealing with the vicious wolves. Your body is not tired enough these days. Injured in person. Soon she was bitten by a wolf. The sword in his hand fell. And then there's a wolf. Attack her other arm. Even if you want to resist, you can't. Fresh blood has begun to flow. See this scene. Most certainly, and thank heaven. It's not too surprising. They don't dare to look and close their eyes. They really can't see. Little girl Kier. The wolf is no more. But that's okay. They are now powerless. There's no possibility he could save her from being torn apart by wolves. Outside the cave, the wolves are still attacking like to stop incense. Looking at the person in front of you unconscious, it's like feeling that the hunt has succeeded. The wolves immediately shouted. He turned his sharp teeth towards her. Suddenly, a loud roar from the depths of the animals. The most popular and, thank heaven, and Yang simultaneously fainted. At the same time, the wolves are afraid. Blinking, no longer consciously falling to the ground. Only the king can resist the fear of running away. Fortunately, this roar. He helped the three most powerful people escape death. It's mostly a coma. Track fan. Most likely I heard someone call my name. Slowly open your eyes and look at the four sides. I don't know where this is. But very quickly his consciousness returned. He had previously been seriously injured. Because Sao can now move. While you are still in doubt. Suddenly, in front of him, a blue image appeared. Most likely suspicious or looking that way. I see the image of the Kier. Like a blue flame. I don't know who that is. Are you immortal? I heard two people call it that. The man laughed in a deep voice. Most likely in doubt or frown said. Who are you? Blue image Kier slowly shook her head, casually said. You don't need to know who I am. This is my territory. I have to ask you that question. What are you going to be doing with all the animals? Probably the most thoughtful for a moment. I didn't hide it, either. What animal? 6 levels mascot striped. What do you want him for? Hear this word. Most likely, he rolled his eyes casually and asked for more. Of course, to raise the power of the beast. Suddenly for an hour. Sometimes the most painful headache. The head wants to explode. The other guy just let out a loud laugh. Fire cottage. This is inside your spatial consciousness. You are right. I am very pleased with your answer. In my eyes I can't escape. Most of all, look at the image in front of you. Not out of fear. People who can use consciousness, intruding into the consciousness of others. This force soon overcame the vision. Even past the super Vietnamese stage. He took a deep breath and said, You are a man of God. 75 million times unexpectedly. In the secular world, he could meet the master of the Holy Land. The most likely person can say it. The local is not stunned. Nods to admit. You are not an ordinary person. I know that I am a saint. You can even show the French blood training photo. Most likely the world is once again terrified. Everything he does that I don't know about. The devil is not outside the supervisor. A little bit of clarity. Come on. Your blood is always in your body. He also knows. Your blood is the blood of your ancestors. It happened a long time ago. Not many people know about the Holy Land. It is also because of the 9 secrets of the devil. To be able to know it. And yet he knows. At this moment, he feels naked. Stand in front of the man and let him do his bidding. He only knows that he comes from heaven. I don't know anything. This feeling is really not good. Again, ask yourself who you are. As I said, you have no right to ask. Why do you want to tell me the truth? The Kier spoke coldly. The most important thing is to meditate for a while. I can't hide it, he said seriously. I want to search for the relics of God. I need to pull the Baron to help me stop it. People seem to know the answer, just waiting. It's time to admit it and laugh. Ha ha. It's a good place inside. It's a good place, you should go. Just finished, the guy suddenly disappeared. The blink of an eye appeared in front of him. Basically, they don't have time to react. I can't help but fear the other person too quickly, but feel no ill will. Stand still motionless. I only see the gentle Kier. Put your hand in the middle of the most powerful light spot very fast. On his forehead appeared a red flower. With the same air, the leap, passing through the top of his head. The other disappeared again. Only his voice echoed in the fire. You and I will give you a small gift. I hope I can help you later. Do you want to get into the second place? 3,000 miles inside. Whether you can capture it or not. It depends on your strength. Wait a minute. Probably for an hour. Suddenly sitting up. A ray of the sun's rays came in. The paint is in your eye. Not out of wonder. At this moment, I was able to move normally. Although it's still a little weak. But the pain is almost gone. More, your blood condition is back to normal. In my heart without fear. The man who entered his consciousness last night. It's definitely more than a master. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so psychic. Only one night was healed of his injury. Even in your blood. But I don't know. What is the purpose of saving him? Most likely, you immediately wrinkle your hands on your forehead to touch. He remembered last night the small spot on his forehead. It's like a lake in your body, something. However, with his current strength he is unable to detect. Now his goal is mainly to improve the real force. There is only great power. It can exist in this world. Thought. Most likely, go outside the cave. I like to stop the baby laying there. My breath is pounding. They are the wounds of the wolves. He called out loud to stop the baby. No matter what you call it. The wind doesn't move either. She was too weak. If not treated, they will die at any time. Thought. The worst of all, let her drink immediately. The face immediately turned pink. Fortunately, she was only injured for a few days. Will not sow. It's snowing now after drinking knitting. He slowly opened his eyes. See the worst in front of you. Smiling great CA. We're dead. Most likely, she woke up. Smile with a reassuring smile and say rest assured. We're all alive. She couldn't believe, shaking her head and lying. People hurt so badly. How can I move? But that's not why we all die together. She closed her eyes and fell asleep. Most likely watching her fall asleep. In my bosom. Shake your head doubtfully, or he really doesn't understand her. To ease the pain. Most likely, he hugged her closer to the prize. Rest is good for your wounds. And 7 is okay for incense. Most likely I remember someone else. Lift your feet and find. Go a paragraph. I saw the son lying in a coma on the ground. And lay him. You want to lie down until you wake up. No matter how you lay. People on the ground don't wake up. He immediately gave an evil smile. To kick someone's ass. Open your mouth and shout, "Wake up for me." This 76-year-old is the most powerful of all. It's a little scary for the animals around. Run as far as you can. But in the cave, after being the most precious stone, the sky has also woken up, but still can't move. The painful feeling of muttering. Where is this? I haven't done anything bad before. He died and suffered this torture. Most likely, he glanced at the sky. His face is a little funny now. I can't help but joke about him once. To kick you is also called torture. So let's find a servant. They have not paid life. I heard the sound and turned my head to look. Probably most astounded. You kicked me. Obviously we died together. Depending on where you stand with me. Most probably the world can't hold it anymore. Laugh out loud. If we die and create ourselves equal beings. It's a shame we're alive. What, we are alive? Thank you for listening to the worst. Suddenly, immediately check around again, laughing out loud. Haha, of course it's a cave. We are alive. But very quickly discovered. Most likely the previous one was similar to him. Very badly injured, can't move. But now he can stand in front of him. The whole thing would cry if we were alive. Why did you recover so quickly? They all drink the same medicine. But your injury is more serious. Many of you are not as good as me. Atsao. Be honest, you're not the right person. Are you a 1,000-year-old animal? I'm sure most people don't notice what he says. Smiling, of course I am the one. My dignity is a little higher than yours. Thank God this time is too surprising. The person in front of him is incredibly deep. The mysterious force. I know that the practice of knitting medicine is more intentional than people. Probably the least powerful though. He knows more than him. His previous name of genius. In front of this person, it's like leaving. But he was also reassured when he was most sure the world had recovered. You can protect them. So that they can safely leave this place. After talking to the sky. Most likely, get out of the cave. Grip the spirit stone in your hand. Immediately reveal the hidden battle. Battle once opened. No one will have access to this place. That way they can rest assured. Escape Aba people. They've been in the wild for 3 months. Love is also gone. The Vi also shows signs of wanting to break through. Right now in front of the cave in a small forest. A sword struck the rock in front of him. Looking at the weather, stop screaming. Stop seeing sao. The snow stopped, clapping hands with all the paint to try the excitement. Theme duong caca is so good. At this point, most people will come to smile. The sword is strong. Maybe after healing, you can break through the 8 core. Thank God for listening to you. His eyebrows all furrowed in dissatisfaction. Not, you also broke through the 7-pack this time. Maybe your eyes are good. I know I need you to tell me why. He looked at them as they were about to argue. Immediately run to the stop. You've been seeing each other for months. You two weren't like that before. It's not because of you. I keep thinking about this boy. Stop children as bait. Our heir is high in the sky. Don't tell me we just want to kill him now. I still remember what happened before. The most deceitful. Suck up your voice. What are you like too? Who suggested throwing her down first? Pulling the legs of 7 elders. Thank heaven and yang to hear why exposed. I can't help but feel ashamed very quickly. That's not me. If only I knew how to stop it so well. I still want to throw the baby down. Better than you taking her to the tiger's mouth. I am a magician. Being a little worse than you is normal. You are a little worse than me. The worst and the worst started to argue. They've been like that for 3 months. Just together for a while, they start to cause trouble. I think I'm too used to this. She stood to one side and watched them laughing and laughing. Don't you to argue about me anymore. It's all over. I didn't notice either. It's not that I want to give you justice. Thank heaven Yang aggressive. I looked at the worst part of the world. To walk next to her, and stop wearing her shoulders. Everyone is a friend. What's wrong with each other? If it's over, throw it all away. She looks the most confident with a smile. Immediately laughed at Theo, put her hand out front. Most certainly, and thank heaven that she reconciled. Immediately reach out your hand. Look at each other laughing. They've been through life and death. We will be together again this month. Have long regarded each other as inseparable soulmates. We can't throw each other away. I fear that this life is hard to come by. Unfortunately, he still has work to do. Right now, most likely, the hands turned and left. Now everyone's wounds are fully healed. So let's say goodbye. Accepted 77 soulmates. Words just came out. Immediately make to people. Thank heaven and stop startled incense. Both of you can't see the surest side of the world. They just went through life and death together. It's not that we should continue to stand together. After all, he said that at this moment. Most likely, they didn't say anything. To meditate for a while. Then he shook his head and said, I'm sorry. Is that we have to leave. Thank heaven Yang. We can't take the kids out of the city. So help me take her away. Tell me where you want to go. The snow stopped and hurried to stop. Most probably not hiding it. Say directly where he wants to go to the 3rd sector. The two of you are terrified again. It's extremely dangerous. Even the Gao Gao, the gods did not dare to set foot.